welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and even more so appreciative. So gracias. I couldn't do none of this without you. And I know that. You know that? I know that. Let's know that together. Let's get on down the road. That's it. Get on down the road, homie. Right? It's the spread, homie. Hey, so trip out. Are you guys ready? Well, I am. And see, my name was mentioned in a video. And first and foremost, I want to say respects to 16 to Life Chill. He mentioned my name in a video where he was trying to establish basically why a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people are saying blacks are basically the most hated. Okay? Now, I did a video a long time ago where I mentioned that I felt the brothers were hated on, or the brothers were hated, right? Within the CDC and even on the streets. And I need to clarify some things because I seen that Chill mentioned my name and says that he's seen the video or he's going to watch the full video, and that he hasn't quite yet watched the video, but he's going to react to it later on down the line. But he used me as a basis for what he was doing, you know, his content. And I watched his video, good video. I want to say this, not everybody hates the blacks. I don't. Shout! I'll fuck with the brothers tough, right? See, you have to understand that when I did that video, that was coming from a northern perspective. Being an ex-norteño, I was someone who functioned at every level side by side with the brothers. Same side of the yard, shared the same dip bars, shared the same sandbox, homie, same basketball courts, same handball courts. You know, when it comes to being a norteño in the California Department of Corrections, I can't speak for all states. But you know, everything is very racial. Everything is, it's a line drawn in the sand. The yard has an imaginary lines where you stay over there, we'll stay over here. So norteños, the others, and of course the brothers, man, all share the same side of the yard, the same side of the day room, same day room tables. We play spades together, dominoes, we fraternize, we chop it up. But we do have our own politics. We do not get involved in each other's politics unless it's something to do with the common enemy that's going to affect both our squads, right? Now, when it comes to the brothers, they are fragmented into different groups. You have Crips, Bloods, Kumis, Jamas. Of course, you have the non-affiliates and the Muslims. So their politics are totally different. They function at a different level within themselves. And when I say they're the most hated on the yard, they're not more hated by norteños or Southsiders or whites or natives or others. They do most of the hating on each other. Okay, most of the hatred that I've seen personally is not fights between the blacks and the Southsiders, or the blacks and the whites, or the blacks and the natives. Most of the fighting I see is in-house, and it's between other sects, other groups. I don't mean sex like Diddy shit, fuck him. I mean different sections. I see the Bloods and Crips not seen eye to eye all the time. I've seen the Crips from LA and the NCs go at it a few times. I've seen the Kumis, man, the Kumis and the Bloods run up on the Crips, and I've seen the Crips run up on them. They always got something going on within themselves. Now, for the people that say the blacks don't politic the same, they don't check paperwork, they just allow anyone to walk the yard, you're full of shit. Okay? The blacks just politic on a different level, more of a street level rather than a prison level. But best believe, man, they are not just going to let some chomo walk the yard and chill like that. It's not the way they get down. Look, I said that and little 5G. What are the gunners talking about me again? Man, if the shoe fits, throw that motherfucker on. That's it. So trip out, or should I say N, since you're still active all of a sudden. But to be truthfully honest with you, right? The brothers that I've programmed with, I met some solid brothers, man. I have nothing bad to say. And when I made that video, they're the most hated, there's a lot of people that don't like the brothers for whatever reason. And it has nothing to do with the color of their skin. I mean, you might have the skinheads in the woods that they don't like the brothers because they've been told over years that that's their number one enemy, that they don't like them. But to be totally honest, I tell you, to this day, 19 years total incarcerated, whether it be in YA, juvenile hall, prison, county jails, I've never seen a riot between blacks and whites. Ain't seen it. Not to this day. I've seen a melee or two. I've seen a 2-on-2 or 4-on-4. I've seen dudes get off on each other. But as far as a full-blown scale riot like the one in Pelican Bay back in the 2000s, you just never see that. It just doesn't happen, right? I have seen situations where Southerners and blacks are getting off and the whites will assist the Southerners sometimes. But the two groups that I seen really go at it the most, to be totally honest with you, was the Southsiders and the whites getting off on each other. I've seen it a gang of times, and I've seen a lot of situations where the Mexicans from up north, the Norteños, go at it with the Kumis. I've seen it a gang of times, right? For whatever reason. I know it was cracking in High Desert back in the days. I know it was cracking in Jamestown. I know it was cracking in Corcoran. I know it cracks in different places. And the reason being is when you function at a certain level with a certain idealisms and the certain way that you are on a yard right next to each other, there's going to be more conflict than there is going to be with the Southsiders and the blacks. Okay, now I know on the streets in Southern California back in the days, there was a lot of conflict. But to keep painting and continuing that narrative that other people are trying to victimize the blacks or vice versa, that's wrong. That's a wrong way of thinking. We're in a day and age where we need to start thinking about changing our ways and uniting more than arguing over the same idealisms of the past. So you never go forward if you keep going backwards. You keep doing this, the offense, defense, right? In order to troop forward, here's some knowledge you can't get in college. Get your antennas ready. Some knowledge you can't get in college goes like this. Instead of going forward, you're worried about the past. The past is going to be back there. It's never going to change, right? But you have the power to change the future. So when I see channels like Chill, Hoodie from the Hood, Damian Porter, shout out to all those guys. I respect them and love their channels, right? Cartoon, all these other brothers, man, they have these labeled prison genre channels. Like mine is labeled, even though it's not. It's labeled that way, right? I see a lot of pointing fingers, all content creators of every ethnicity pointing fingers, the blame game. Oh, man, they fucking with the blacks because, man, they don't like us because of this, this, and that. Oh, man, they're fucking with the raza because, you know, this, and that. Look, at the end of the day, everybody's going to have a different perspective. Now, I know Dubs gets a lot of hatred, and I seen something in fucking Chill's video where he's not even talking bad about Dubs or myself or nobody, man. He's just doing his story. I like Chill because he's very unbiased, right? And there's people in the comments, oh, Dubs said this, Gunner's a cheerleader for Dubs. And that's my homeboy. I'm going to back his play, right or wrong. We'll figure the fucking shit out at the end, right? But one thing I am is a man and I speak real life. And if I see something wrong, I'm going to call anyone out on it. I'm going to be like, nah, I don't agree, bro. I didn't see it like that. You may have, but I haven't, right? And we could agree to disagree and it's all good. We still function. We still function. We're active and we function, right? We still do our thing. And that's it, okay? You got to understand, Dubs has a Southern perspective of it. He comes from a long history of doing real time on real yards with real guerra and real ones for a real long time, right? Whereas with me, I done time on real yards the same way, but from a Northern perspective. See, we function hand in hand with the blacks. We did a lot of backing each other's play. Do you know that I remember being in Susanville and us being on lockdown because we wouldn't conform to MAC reps, meaning we didn't want to have no representation that could be pinpointed by law enforcement. We didn't want to dry snitch on ourselves, right? So they slammed us down. They slammed all Northerners down because we weren't conforming to MAC reps because that wasn't in our program or proper procedure. And in order to facilitate communication to other buildings, we didn't have a chance to get cell phones. See, we had just flipped the yard and established, so we didn't have chances to have cell phones yet and all that. So our form of communication was old school with Wheelas, right? And do you know that the brothers were the ones that facilitated the messages for us? We worked hand in hand with them to help them out. We were on lockdown. We'd shoot them the Wheelas. They'd get it to the other block for the homies. And that's how we were able to do our thing. I remember we weren't shooting out any hot stuff, no hot kites, because we didn't want them to get apprehended by the law enforcement. Because we understood that and I know a lot of people say, oh, you were utilizing the blacks. No, we were working hand in hand. If we could do something for you, you could do something for us, we got you. So I've always had the greatest, utmost respect for blacks. Even when I was a kid, man, I remember being in the youth authority and the brothers backing my play against Southsiders. And it wasn't a black and Southside thing. It was a North and South thing, right? And they chose to put their hand in the mix and volunteer to help me. They didn't have to. And I respect that. You know, now I've seen situations in the youth authority where blacks and Mexicans did get off where they were mad at, right? And it became a racial thing. And I think it became a racial thing because the Mexicans were outnumbered so tremendously that we had to come together like butt cheeks. Wes Watson doesn't know nothing about that. Neither does Little Toro right here. But we had to come together against the brothers because if we didn't, man, it was going to be all real bad for us, right? Now, a situation as far as Chill doing a video saying that I said the blacks are most hated. I think blacks are most hated by other blacks. You know, I seen Dub's video earlier. And man, if he didn't hit the nail on the head, he talked about the murders that have happened in the CDC as well as the black on black crime. All these rappers, PNB Rock, Nip, King Von, XXX, Extension Dubs, not extension, right? Extension, Pop Smoke, I mean, Big Jook. The list goes on and on. They were all done by brothers, other brothers, right? If that doesn't show you the eradication of one's race by one's own, I don't know what does, right? But it's the same thing for the Mexicans. Same thing, bro. The raza does the same thing. If you look at all the last murders in the CDC in the last 10 months, man, it's all pretty much Mexicans. You don't see no Mexican hit no black. You don't see no black hit no Mexican. And if you do see a brother, he's probably a Southerner, right? Or a Northerner. It's just the way it is. So when I made that video, just to clarify, to chill, and again, like I said, nothing but my respects to these brothers, man. I support their channels tremendously, right? As I should. I'm about the black and brown unity. I ain't about dissension. And I seen one dude say, oh man, Gun's just trying to do damage control. Him and Dubs. Damage what? I didn't damage nothing in the first place, Holmes. And I don't control shit but what I say. And I'm going to stand by that, right? Just to let you know. But as far as me saying brothers hate they're hated the most on the yard, I believe they're hated the most by their own people, first and foremost. I believe people don't hate the blacks on the yard. They just don't get an understanding of them. That's why you have all these false myths that blacks don't check paperwork, or blacks ain't about the knife play, or blacks ain't the... Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Have I seen a lot of blacks use knives on the yard? No. Have I seen blacks check paperwork on the yard? Yeah. Right? But again, there's all these stories that come out that the brothers somehow politic a certain way, that they're less than, and that is not the truth. They just politic differently. See, if you don't get an understanding of what one does, and believe me, if you're on a shared yard amongst a lot of different races and ethnicities, do your fucking homework. Know how they wiggle, what they're saying. That's why I learned some Swahili, some Nawa, different languages. So that way when I was in places like the Hole or the Shoe, I can understand when these guys are facilitating conversation between each other, what is being said, to look out for me, my own people. But at the same time, I wanted to embrace them cultures, man, because I believe everyone has a great, beautiful culture, man. And I just want to know, when I'm boning a black chick, man, what's she saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Kiwi, right? So that's just how that goes. But as far as that video I did, you know, I truly believe, and I'll stand by it, that everyone hates their own, or hates on their own more than anything. So when I said everyone hates on the blacks, or they hate the blacks, not necessarily other races or other ethnicities, but more so their own people. And that's the truth. And like I said, the same goes for the Mexicans. You already have the North and South issues, the things that have been going on for 50 plus years, right? And now what you have is a lot of cleaning house, a lot of people getting off on their own. I mean, I always have said it's hard to be a Northerner or Norteño because we hold our people to a certain standard, right? And it's such a standard that you can even be cut from that cloth. And sometimes the cloth gets jagged at the ends and they throw it away. I think within the Norteño movement, they're the most, it's probably the hardest to function at any level, because it's a constant battle within your own. A lot of red on red without saying that, right? When it comes to the Southsiders, there's a lot of dirty politicking, and they politic. When you're a deep group and there's a lot of you, man, you turn on each other. Everyone wants the power and to be the man to run the yarda, right? With the brothers, it's more so internal conflict or street gang conflict, and they don't get along. Best believe people get on. Now, there are different politics. If you're a Southerner or a Northerner or even a Paisa, right? You're going to have to pick up a knife, man. You're going to have to get with it and get with the program. That's just the way it is. You know, anything less will be considered uncivilized. Anything less, and it doesn't count, okay? But they're going to show you how to do it on you, right? Now, when it comes to the brothers, they don't have them same type of politics. They play by different rules. It doesn't mean they're suckers. It doesn't mean they ain't willing to pick up some metal and get busy. It just means theirs is not mandatory within their movements. But to sit here and say that they don't program, they don't work out, they don't check paperwork, that's foolish, okay? Every group is with the program. Every group is with the business. Everyone just has a different program, and it's nobody's business. That's a fact. But let's talk about YouTube for a second or three, right? Oh my cousin. You said three. I said you meant to say two. No, I meant to say four, puto. Keep your fucking shirt on, is it, right? Look, the Mexicans have a certain standard of living. The brothers have a certain standard of living. Human beings as a whole, we have a standard of living. Okay, we might not agree on everything. We might not follow each other's rules. But best believe, man, we're all built for tough. When you're on a 4 or a 3 yard, a 180 or a fucking 270 design, you are programmed to come out and handle business no matter what color your skin is. Period. Okay? You can tell a lot about a brother by the way he's living. You can tell a lot about a Mexican by the way he's living, right? To sit here and say that there aren't going to be people who show individual favoritism, that's foolish. There's going to be brothers that if they got a homeboy who's got kind of a murky kind of case and he's from his hood, he's going to push to get his homeboy, to get his homeboy cleared on that yard. Same thing goes for the North and the South, right? One thing is different though is that I see is the brothers will use foot play and hand play to get you up out of there. They'll stomp you out. They'll smash you out. Whereas Mexicans will just put knives in you, period. No questions asked. Okay, and that's just the truth of the matter. And all this shit was started off a video a black guy did. Talk about that they were scared of Mexicans. It wasn't a Mexican guy saying that they were scared of blacks. It wasn't a Mexican guy killing Nipsey Hussle. It wasn't a Mexican guy killing fucking XXX. It wasn't a Mexican guy killing King Von. Those were brothers that did that. It wasn't the brothers killing the Mexicans in prison. It was the Mexicans that did that. So to sit here and say, everyone's not about the business or one group is hated more than the other. No, I think we're all hated on equally. I think we're all hated on, and I think we're all hated by our people more so than anybody. It's the truth of the matter. I have a friend that's a brother, man, and he told me straight up. He told a homie too the same thing. He said, blacks are born to think they're more superior than others. They're raised that way. They're told they got the biggest dicks. They're faster. They can jump higher. They're fucking more athletic. They are not shook up of no one else and not raised that way to bow down to no man but another brother, right? Mexicans are taught different. We're taught about pride and that we are fucking not, we're going to fight to the end against anyone and we're never going to give up. That's the way we're raised. Whites are like, fuck all you fuckers, brother, right? That's how they're raised. The facts are this, man. When Chill said I did that video saying that the blacks are the most hated on, we're not going to take it out of context. I did agree, man. I do see the blacks probably getting oppressed the most, more than any other group, but it's mostly by each other. Okay? I've been on yards where the blacks had tremendous numbers, man, and them yards right there were fucked up. They were jumping each other. I seen dudes getting manhandled. No diddy. Baby oil, though. I've seen a lot of shit happening, and I've seen yards that were in abundance with Southerners, man, and I've seen them whacking each other, politics going on, bad shit happening. I've seen a yard where there was a gang of whites, and the skinheads were overpowering the woods and making them do things they didn't want to do. And I've been on yards, well, I've never been on yards where Northerners were deep, but in YA I was, right? So that's my one experience. But I've been on yards where there's 30 or 40 Northerners, man, and I could say, man, the removals were real. So I think everyone politics at a high level. I think we can't sit here and continue this narrative of black versus Mexican all the time. We need to let this shit go, man. No one is better than no one. I'm going to support the raza to the fullest, first and foremost. La primera es, right? And I believe the blacks should support each other to the fullest, but it doesn't mean I hate you because you care for your people or you got love for your people. Nah, but I'm going to respect everyone else too while doing it. I'm not going to disrespect you and say we're better than you. Not never going to do that. I'm going to say social status of equality. You're not better than me. I'm not better than you. Brother, we're even, right? Whether you choose to pick up a knife and check paperwork, that's on you. I've been in places where Northerners forgot to check paperwork. Shit, I should have checked Little Toros, right? I've been in places that the situation is different. But one thing I will tell you is I respect it. And as far as this YouTube, are brothers crying about things? No. But there are situations, and I'm going to be real. I don't sugarcoat or add preservatives or nothing. If you don't like it, fuck it. Turn the page, right? I do see every time, not every time, correct me because I'm wrong, several times on YouTube where I'll be talking about something, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I just be talking about something, right? And if it even sounds like a brother doesn't agree, instead of saying as a man, bro, I don't agree with that, this is why, he says, that's racist. I'm like, what? Right? It's like, everything ain't racist, bro. If I don't like a song done by Michael Jackson, I just don't fucking like Michael Jackson. It doesn't mean I don't like him because he's black, right? Shit, is that motherfucker? Last time I checked, he was white and dead. I'm just saying, right? I hate when it turns into that a racial thing, man. And I'm not even gonna lie, I noticed that more so with the brothers than anybody. You know, and I don't know if that's just instilled in them because what they've went through. And I could understand it though. I don't blame them, man. I don't blame them, you know, because there are a lot of racist people. There are a lot of prejudiced people that shoot shots, man, or throw subliminals. It's the truth, right? I'm not one of him. Dubs is not one of them. We fuck with a lot of brothers. We got respect for them. But hey, man, you can't fault us for telling the truth. I got a brother right now. I don't know what his name is. Dirty Calzones, 1600 or something. I don't know. I don't really know him. I know he jumped on the live and used to say, hey, guys. And I used to be like, this dude's a J-Cat. But I got him making videos of me. And the last time I checked, we was cool, right? I mean, didn't the guy go on 60 days in and be a snitch for the cops? And then he tapped out and says, well, I didn't snitch. Well, you didn't make it either. We'll be looking for you on the first 48. I bet you don't last 37 minutes on that show. We all know we all know what happens in every show. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to show respect for everyone and Chill, Hoodie, Damian Porter, every other brother YouTube content creator that's lumped into this prison genre, man. It's nothing but my utmost respects. I think what we need to do is get on a platform and converse, bro. Let people know that we come united and of an understanding instead of trying to politic on each other and get in each other's business and talk shit about each other. I know it's good for views. I know we're all trying to make money at the end of the day, but I think more so we agree on a lot more and we would come to a common understanding rather than slandering each other or utilizing other people's clips and just, you know, for clickbait or to make motherfuckers look bad. I'm not saying Chill did that with me. I respect Chill like a motherfucker. I'm just saying, that's not what I meant on the video. What I meant on the video is the brothers are hated by the brothers. The Mexicans are hated by the Mexicans. Show! I'll be doing a super norteño in a minute. Bang, bang.